I just want to start this video by saying that I've got nothing against Blue Drake. I've never spoken to him, and the only time I've ever interacted with him was on my previous Operation Harsh Doorstop video in the comment section. And I do want this game to succeed. I have no reason for it not to succeed. If it succeeds, then as a player I have another cool game, or potentially a game of cool mods to play. And as a content creator, if it succeeds, then I've got another game to make cool, well, hopefully cool content about. But the reason for this video is that this game has created such a massive split in like the tactical shooter YouTube community, massive split in opinions. It's caused a number of toxic community members from Operation Harsh Doorstop coming out and hitting at anyone who gives any negative thoughts about this game, and it's even led to YouTubers making videos targeting other YouTubers. So let's get into it. But the first thing I want to really address is many comments have been getting about myself and other YouTubers not doing enough research into this game. And when I decided to do some extra research, it actually turned out to be like my favorite thing about this video, doing this research that you guys wanted me to do. And I think most people didn't realize that this Operation Harsh Doorstop video wasn't actually the first video I did for this game. The devs actually gave me a key back in 2021, and I did make a video for it in September 2021. I gave praise to the game back then, and I was hopeful for it. And, you know, I was hoping it would turn out to be a really good shooter. But when it comes to doing research about purchasing or downloading a game through Steam, generally the only research you need to do is look at the Steam store page, because that's where the developers are really going to sell you the game. They're going to put screenshots, trailers, the description of the game on Steam to make you want to buy it. If you have to exit Steam and go somewhere else to do research to find out what the game is really about, then really that Steam store page has failed in its purpose, which is really to inform the potential buyer or player. Now, yes, you may go look at YouTube or somewhere else for extra reviews, but that's not really doing research into the game. I would say that's just seeing other people's opinions. That's not really telling you what the game is about, although the reviews could go into more detail into what the game is about. And these lack of research accusations always take the form really of this isn't a game, it's a platform, or it's a modding platform. The game content is secondary to the mods. So let's just check out the Steam store page. And the first description we get about this game is, I think, the words of Blue Drake, the main creator, the head honcho himself. I got sick of games with loot boxes and predatory monetization, with no single player missions or mod support. So our community started making this game instead. A shooter sandbox with all the features a game should have. Oh, and we're funding it on Patreon and giving it away for free. So by that description alone, they are developing a shooter sandbox with all the features a game should have, which really includes single player and mod support. So from the dev's own words, it's a game with mod support, not a modding platform with game content. Modding is also barely mentioned further down on the store page. Now that is really all the research someone needs to do on a product to decide whether they want to buy it or not, whether it appeals to them or not. But since you guys want more research, let's do it. So Operation Harsh Doorstop is developed by a company called Drakeling Labs, which is entirely funded through Patreon. And to be honest, I'm guessing a little bit of Blue Drake's YouTube income, meaning that the community has donated funds to develop the game. And Drakeling Labs was founded by Blue Drake 42, and Drakeling Labs is a subsidiary within the Blue Drake 42 Limited Company. And within this Blue Drake 42 Limited Company is also another company called OHD Corp. and a description of OHD Corp is the corporation responsible for developing Operation Harsh Doorstop. But on Steam, the developer and the publisher is listed as Drakeling Labs. On the Operation Harsh Doorstop Steam page, if you click on Drakeling Labs, it will show you all the games developed by Drakeling Labs, which is just one, Operation Harsh Doorstop. But since OHD Core is listed as a company that's responsible for developing Operation Harsh Doorstop, you search for that company within Steam and nothing comes up. So let's search for Blue Drake 42 and see what we find out. And then we get 4 items that show up: Iron Armada, Blood Metal, Voxel Suite, and Donate to Voxel Suite. Now, you might be wondering why any of this is actually relevant. Well, just ask any game developer or fans of any games. The reception of a company's previous games matters. Just look at Battlefield 2042. The next Battlefield game has a hell of a lot to make up for because of how badly received Battlefield 2042 was. You can look at Cyberpunk. That was massively hyped because not only because of the trailers, but because of how good The Witcher 3 was. Previous titles developed by a game studio matter. So let's take a look at these games. So Iron Armada was released on the 30th of December 2017 for £14.99 or your local equivalent, and it's a multiplayer spacefaring combat game where players must team up to build a fleet of ships in order to survive the perils of space and defeat the opposing player faction. The only piece of news for this game on Steam was on February the 3rd, 2020, where it was stated that the game was still being worked on and it will release. There have been no further updates to this game. It went free to play quietly in December 2021, and the developer and publisher name was changed from Drakeling Labs to Blue Drake 42 Limited Company. The game has been abandoned. Let me remind you that people paid for this game. Blood Metal, released on the 17th of July 2020 for £3.99 or your local equivalent. Blood Metal is a brutal, experimental single-player project featuring a full body destruction model. An update was added on the 9th of March 2021. No other news or updates have been released for this game. It went free to play quietly in December 2021, where also the developer and publisher name was changed from Drakeling Labs to Blue Drake 42 Limited Company. The game has been abandoned. Let me remind you again, people paid for this game. Voxel Suite, released on the 1st of October 2020 for free with a £7.19 Donate to Voxel Suite DLC, and Voxel Suite is a free, open source voxel editing application. No news or updates have ever been released for this product, and in December 2021, the developer and publisher name was changed from Drakeling Labs to Blue Drake 42 Limited Company. Since there have been no news or updates for this project, the project has seemingly been abandoned. And how is this all relevant to Operation Harsh Doorstop? Well, people requested me to research the game in the studio, so there's the results of some of my research. The back catalogue of a studio is important as it shows what they can do, how they do it, how they monetize, if they can make good products, and if they abandon them. 3 out of 3 projects developed by this studio have been abandoned.
But wait! There's more!
Warfare 1944, released on the 7th of July 2020 for £7.19 or your local equivalent. Warfare 1944 is a World War II tactical shooter. The game is being developed by Microprose Software Inc., built using the OHD Core framework by Drakeling Labs for Unreal Engine 4. Ah, but he didn't make this, you say. It says it right there on Steam. Developed by Microprose. 26th of October 2022. The stored description was changed to what it is now from Warfare 1944 is a World War II tactical shooter. The game is being developed by the studio Drakeling Labs in partnership with Microprose Software Inc., built using the OHD Core framework by Drakeling Labs for Unreal Engine 4. The developer was changed to Microprose Software from Drakeling Labs, and the publisher was both Microprose and Drakeling Labs, but Drakeling Labs' name was removed. For the news and updates, on the 26th of October 2022, with just a link to an Operation Harsh Doorstop update, which includes this section. Microprose will become the first third-party client of our studio to receive a full license to OHD Core, the underlying framework of our game. Microprose will have a full license to continue development of their own games powered by OHD Core, most notably Warfare 1944. We continue to be available for any development work that Microprose will require as they continue developing their own games. Warfare 1944 is a Microprose project owned and developed by Microprose. This was actually already true, but we felt this required further clarification following our announcement to self-publish Operation Harsh Doorstop. While our studio has been previously contracted to develop Warfare 1944, Warfare 1944 has always ultimately been a product owned and developed by Microprose. We merely developed the OHD Core framework and have been available for contract development work as needed. Our studio continues to be available to help develop Warfare 1944 as Microprose desires, while we continue to independently develop Operation Harsh Doorstop as our own self-published product. We will continue to support, promote and cover Microprose products on our own personal channels. We love Microprose games and we love what Microprose is doing for independent developers. We intend to continue supporting Microprose as long as they continue to be the champion for independent developers that we have seen them be. I find this announcement strange, especially them coming out and saying, actually, this was always a Microprose game and not our own, despite Drakeling Labs being the developer and the publisher since it was released in 2020. If you look at the first piece of news, I think it's the first devlog for this game, the very first words are "Hello, Drakelings," which I guess is a term which Blue Drake uses for his community. And this whole news piece has been written, I'm guessing, by Drakeling Labs. It shows that the game was initially announced by Blue Drake. There's a video going into some more information about Drakeling Labs and why Blue Drake decided to start making games. Some detail about some maps coming and some other features. It also has some information about Operation Doorstop, the Patreon for Drakeling Labs, and promoting their own Patreon, and zero information about Microprose, despite them saying in October, 2 years later, that it's always been a Microprose product. Now, if you bought into Warfare 1944 or donated through Patreon for this game to help development of it, and then you find out 2 years later, actually guys, it's not our project and it's never been our project, despite them promoting it and saying that it's pretty much theirs with no mention of Microprose. That's shady. But since this update in October 2022, there have been no further updates. The last update before that was March 2021, and there was a blog update in April 2021. The game has been abandoned, and it was a game that people paid for. So that's 4 previous projects developed by Drakeling Labs.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
Island Deathmatch, and I actually only came across this game while editing this entire video, and I cannot find really any information about it apart from that it was on Steam, it had a bunch of followers, and it still does have some followers, and it seems to have left Steam or been taken down from Steam in December 2022. So that's 5 out of 5 projects developed by Drakeling Labs that have all seemingly been abandoned, and that's important. Most people would click on the dev's name on Steam to see their development history, and these titles would, or maybe should, be there, but not anymore, and let's speculate as to why that is. Now, as I said earlier, past games do matter to a studio as it gives insight into that studio. What this shows us is that studio has abandoned every game it started and possibly abandoned a development app it created. That would put them as one of the worst early access devs out there, never finishing a game, just abandoning them to start another. If I knew a studio was developing a game that had that history, I wouldn't have faith in them, and I certainly wouldn't be giving them my money. Is that enough research for you? So I don't want this to be all doom and gloom, so here are a few good mods that I've seen on Operation Harsh Doorstop so far is showing that the game does have good modding potential. And first, what you're seeing here is a Starship Troopers mod. It allows a bunch of players to play together. There's a construction system, which again is another mod, and then it's just like a wave defense against the Starship Troopers bugs. So it's a decent, different addition to the game. We also have a new game mode that's been created, a demolition mode, and you pretty much need to go to certain points on the map, plant an explosive charge. The other team can defuse it, and they need to plant their own charges. But what that's showing is that new game modes are being created for Harsh Doorstop, which is a really good thing, because the conquest style assault and secure is just overdone at this point, and we need something else, even though this demolition mode is kind of already done. But it's shown that the game can do more. And lastly, a Halo mod. I mean, if you're not interested in playing Halo Reach, you can play Halo with a different spin on it. And again, it's shown that the game can do quite a bit. Now, who doesn't love some good YouTuber drama? But in this situation, it's quite small, to be honest. What we have is a creator called Boogie5, pretty much not happy that his opinion doesn't match other bigger creators like Big Fry and Tactigamer, so he decided to make a video calling them out and saying that they're misinforming the public about Operation Harsh Doorstop. But he doesn't counter anything they've said in his video. It seems just more like a rant, and that honestly he's trying to use Big Fry and Tactigamer's name to boost his own channel and boost his video through the search results. And I could go through his video and analyze it a bit more, but I'll leave it to Big Fry to give his thoughts about it.
L video, L take. Anyway.
Pretty much everyone who has given criticism of Operation Harsh Doorstop has been met with a tidal wave of negative or toxic comments from what I'm hoping is a small number of the Operation Harsh Doorstop community. And it's not the first time I've dealt with this. Back when Battlefield 2042 was going to be releasing its beta, I pre-ordered the game for some reason. I think it was just to get in early so I can get an opinion and make content from it. And I made a video which shat on the entire beta for multiple reasons, such as the bad map design, the bad gunplay, the bad performance, the bugs, the specialists that was so out of place, the fact it didn't feel like a Battlefield game, which, funny enough, all those reasons were the exact same reasons why everyone hated the game on its full release. And from that beta video I had a massive backlash from the Battlefield community. That video is currently sitting on a 44.8 like ratio. And it's even more funny because apparently I'm an EA shill for not liking Operation Harsh Doorstop. Yeah, so for not liking Operation Harsh Doorstop, I'm a shill for something, I'm guessing. Now, I actually love this comment because there's a few layers to it. Firstly, we are a shill for Hell Let Loose because we are war correspondents for Hell Let Loose, which is a partner with Black Matter, the developers, where we get access to a Discord chat room with the developers and the community manager where the devs never talk. And we get the occasional shout out in their developer briefings, and that's it. I mean, we did get some keys to give away during certain big releases of updates, so when the game came out of early access. And when the game did release out of early access, us war correspondents did get like a box from them, like a gift, which came with paper maps of the in-game maps, a whiskey glass, a whiskey flask, a pen, a book to write in, and some other stuff, and that was nice. But because we're a partner for this game, apparently we cannot criticize any other game, despite enjoying many games that I've made other reviews for. But because of these two particular games, we're not allowed to criticize them. And also, I've apparently never criticized Hell Let Loose and its problems, despite making quite a few videos of Hell Let Loose, the reviews, videos about certain specific issues, the many streams where I've criticized the game endlessly. I did make a video going into why I'd stopped playing Hell Let Loose for a while. And then there's the accusations of if I'm not getting paid by the developers, which you don't get paid by the developers, we're then getting view bots and fake interactions funded by the Hell Let Loose Corporation. I really don't think this guy understands anything about game studios, how they market games, and how YouTube works. And it's fine if he thinks Hell Let Loose is a trash game. That's fine. But then saying we're all guilty of deceptive practices to push sales for a scam title has become. I don't think anyone thinks Hell Let Loose is a scam. I mean, you get what you pay for, which, in my opinion, is one of the best World War II shooters. But then we're apparently influencers who promote an unethical corporation for money. And I will say, like I have criticized Team 17 before, they do have a few unethical practices. I shouted out about it. I think I was the only war correspondent that did it. I'm probably the most critical war correspondent for Hell Let Loose, and I'm surprised I'm still partnered with them. And it's unfortunate because, most companies do have a lot of unethical practices, but, at least Black Matter and Team 17 finish the games they make. I don't actually understand if this guy who actually deleted his own comment from the Operation Harsh Doorstop forums, and this was actually given to Mono by one of the developers, but I don't know if he's saying that he's going to punish Salt or if he's going to use Salt to go after Mono with. I mean, Mono's not a slug. Yeah, this guy again. Let's flag this review for misinformation while giving no examples of misinformation. I did ask him for any misinformation, but he refused to answer. And if there is any incorrect information in the video, I want to know that so I can correct people about it. But this guy seems to be a bit of a clown, to be honest. This comment is actually amazing. I mean, he can guarantee in quotation marks that if an investigation was to be done upon every individual that has an over-the-top negative response to the free. I mean, I don't know why he's putting free in quotation marks, because it is free unless he's trying to refer to the early access DLC on Steam. But the results of said investigation will show that all of them are either designers or developers or work. I think he's meaning for like a game studio. Like, what? I would love for him to do this investigation, because in my streams I tell people I'm a consultant for an ITSM company. But hey, just let that comment sizzle in your spirit for a minute. Yes, this guy again, calling Leems Google, who is one subscriber, and I don't think he's made any videos, is also a shill for not liking this game. I really think this guy just doesn't know what the word shill means. So this is one of the issues I have with the base game. They've given us this bare bones game, and they've said that they will add the features that people want in the way they want. Why not have your own vision for your own game, which I know every single game does? You still have the mod side so people could change it, but to basically rely on people to develop mods, which you can then implement those mods into the base game, which the developers have said they're going to do, it comes across as lazy, really. And this comment, like many others which we knew were there, but it looks like they've been deleted by the people who place the comments, but they're pretty much referring to develop your own game to be able to criticize this one, which is the most stupid response ever. That chocolate bar you like? Sorry mate, you can't say you like that because you've never made a chocolate bar before. The house you live in, the house you love? Nah mate, you can't say anything about that because you've never built yourself a house. That car you hate, you don't know anything about cars, mate. You've never built a car from scratch. These people live among us. How do these people just get through their day? I will never know. So that's a look at some of the hot takes around the release of Operation Harsh Doorstop. I hope you've enjoyed my research you wanted me to do. Give the video a like if you liked it, a dislike if you didn't. Please comment down below about how much you hate my take on the game and my research. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.